Welcome to the audio version of our Daily Coach newsletter, a reading of some of our greatest hits from more than 6 years of email newsletters that have been read by tens of thousands of leaders and learners. If you want our latest newsletter delivered to your inbox every day, you can subscribe for free at thedaily.coach/subscribe or follow the link in the description. The Truth Test: What Good Will Hunting Teaches Us About Authentic Hiring. In the film Good Will Hunting, the character, Will Hunting, portrayed by Matt Damon, demonstrates his extraordinary memory and authenticity during a pivotal scene with Skylar, his girlfriend, played by Minnie Driver. This moment reveals not only the brilliance of Will's mind, but also the depth and complexity of his character. Will, a janitor at MIT with exceptional mathematical abilities, carries a tumultuous past filled with trauma and personal struggle. Despite his genius, his life is riddled with challenges that block his potential. The story begins to unfold when Professor Gerald Lambaugh discovers Will's anonymous solution to a complex math problem and attempts to steer him toward a brighter future. But Will's violent tendencies and legal troubles prompt Lambaugh to enlist the help of therapist Sean McGuire, brought to life by the late Robin Williams. Through their sessions, Sean helps Will confront his pain, peel back his emotional armor, and begin to recognize his worth beyond intellect. One scene in particular stands out. During a conversation with Skylar, Will casually mentions that he has 12 big brothers. Taken aback, she challenges him to name them all. Without hesitation, Will rattles off all 12 names. Still skeptical, Skylar demands he do it again, immediately. Once more, Will delivers flawlessly. What seems like a charming exchange between two characters actually reveals something deeper, a powerful technique for assessing authenticity. Skylar's method, asking for immediate repetition, functions like a real-time integrity check. It gauges not just memory, but truthfulness, and it holds practical value beyond the screen, particularly in high-stakes environments like hiring and leadership evaluation. In the workplace, authenticity is more than a buzzword. It's a competitive advantage. Hiring authentic individuals, those who are not only qualified, but aligned with the team's values, can build trust, elevate culture, and boost long-term performance. But how do we spot authenticity in an interview? Here are 3 practical techniques. The first is behavioral interviews, which prompt candidates to share a real-life example of how they've navigated past situations. These questions help us uncover core values like honesty, resilience, and teamwork. For example, tell me about a time when you faced an ethical dilemma at work. How did you handle it? Describe a moment when you had to give honest feedback to a colleague. What was the outcome? These aren't just prompts, they're truth-seeking tools. Another is the immediate repetition technique inspired by Good Will Hunting. This approach involves asking a candidate to repeat or restate key information from earlier in the interview. For example, if someone says they led a major initiative, ask them to summarize the same project details again later. Consistency often reveals character. The ability to retell without major variations suggests credibility and genuine experience. And the third is a values alignment check. Does the candidate live out your organization's values? You can use situational judgment tests or real-life scenarios that reflect your team's culture. For example, here's a core value we live by. Can you share how you've embodied this in the past role? What part of our mission statement most resonates with you, and why? These questions push past surface-level responses and move into alignment and fit. We've all been fooled before. We've all wanted to believe someone was who they claimed to be, only to find out later they weren't. But by leaning into tools like behavioral interviewing, values alignment, and yes, even repetition, we can better navigate the tough terrain of hiring and surround ourselves with people who are not only smart and skilled, but real. Because in leadership, in sports, in business, and in life, authenticity always endures. Thanks for joining this episode of The Daily Coach. On behalf of Michael Lombardi, Coach George Raveling, and the entire Daily Coach team, we're grateful for your support. Remember, the most important person you will ever lead is yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep showing up.